We're having Sunday brunch today, and you're invited. Welcome and welcome back. I'm doing saltfish and callalloo today, but no callalloo because I can't get it to germinate. So I'm using what's available in my garden, which is collard greens, mustard, and kale, a little pak choy. So that's what we'll be using. I'll start with the dough for the festival so it can rest. And the difference between festival and a fried dumpling or Johnny cake is, for me, the addition of cornmeal. So I'll be adding a little of that today. I won't go too heavy on it. I just don't really feel like that today. So I'll just add a little bit. I'll put a rough estimate of the ingredients in the description below. And so we will go ahead and mix this through thoroughly while it's dry to incorporate the salt and everything, baking powder and everything evenly throughout the mixture. And I've already started my saltfish to boil a little to get rid of some of that salt. And this does not require hard boiling, just a little mild simmering for a few minutes, and then I'll throw that off and rinse it. So I add a little butter and just like a pie crust kind of blend it into the flour and make like a coarse texture, like a fine sand texture. And then I will add my milk gradually to make the dough. You can use water, but my preferred liquid ingredient is milk for both fried dumpling and for festival. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'd suggest that you start with a little well in the middle to pour the milk, because if you get the sides too wet, then the flour starts to clump on the sides. So it's best if you keep the sides of the bowl dry and just incorporate the flour into the middle until you get it into a ball. Of course, despite the ingredients that would be listed, you have to use your judgment in terms of the amount of liquid you add, because based on the temperature, the humidity in your area, that amount can vary a little. You don't want the dough too wet or too dry, because that would be tough. So use your judgment and add accordingly, slowly, little by little. As you can see, once the liquid is in the flour into groups of lumps everywhere, then you'll stop there and try to get them together so that you avoid it being too wet or too dry. You can always tip a little milk if you see, if as you are putting it together you notice a large amount of flour. Just a few little splashes and it will all come together in the rest. So I'll go ahead and knead this for about 5 to 8 minutes or so, and then I will cover and leave it to rest. The longer it rests is the more tender it will be. If you go right ahead right now, it could be a little tougher and it won't rise as much. I'm just giving it a light dusting of flour so that the surface isn't sticky before I leave it to rest. I'm gonna slice and cube this papaya, and so you can enjoy that while you watch me do all the work. Papaya is very good for your digestion, but I would not suggest that you have it on an empty stomach. Trust me, it needs something to digest, or else you'll be in agony if you have this like first thing in the morning. At least that's been my experience. Another tip I have regarding papaya is I compost the skins. They're very easy to break down because they're so tender and soft. But regarding the seeds, please keep that separate out of your compost bin, or else you'll have several plantations, 10 acres or more of papaya plants if you leave them in there. Because I did that last summer, and in everything I planted, there were papaya seedlings springing up everywhere. Of course, do not include this plastic stickers on the fruits into the compost bin. So I'll begin to cut up my fresh vegetables for the saltfish: onion, sweet pepper, garlic, and scallion. course, the same goes for the sweet pepper seeds. As for the papaya seeds, we won't put that into the compost bin, or we'll have pepper seedlings everywhere. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we will go ahead, we'll rinse the saltfish and strain off the water, and we will just shred that into little pieces. Some of you may recognize this basket, my Dollar Tree hack, that I drilled holes in the bottom of this basket. So it's my harvest basket. So we'll go and find the greens that we'll steam with the saltfish. This is another compost bin I buried in the ground. I don't know how effective it's been, but I don't know, we'll see. The original totes that I used to move here with in June last year, they're still performing well with the vegetables. That is the dill that I don't normally use. I hardly ever use it, but it's not bad at all. I kind of like it with the fish. So we'll add some of that to the pot. And of course, I will pre-wash these outside, get rid of most of the sand before I rinse it again with the colander in the sink. Okay, so it's time to get down to business. I will start my oil, which is usually coconut oil. I like the flavor. And I will put some scallion and some garlic into the oil, let it get toasted, and that will bring out a lot of the flavor. Afterwards, I will add the vegetables. In the meantime, I'm having the oil heated up for that would be at like a medium, slightly less than medium heat, but to just gradually heat through before I put the vegetable in. I will add the sweet peppers and onions first, and then I will add the saltfish afterwards. The greens will go in last. So my oil is hot enough now. If you sprinkle a little flour into the oil, you'll see it sizzle right at the top there, so you can start to form your dough. So the festival is usually shaped in a cylindrical way, like I'm doing here. Just spin it between your hands and then put a little indentation along one side. It just, I guess, causes it to cook a little better that way, and the shape comes out a little better. When it comes to fried dumpling, it's usually in like a round form, or round and flattened. So this will cook in a gentle fry, because you want it to be thoroughly cooked inside before it gets too brown on the outside. So you don't want to do this too fast. So this is what a fried dumpling or Johnny cake shape would be. You'll notice that the fried festival will actually turn itself as it cooks on one side. As long as there's space for it to do so, it will naturally flip over on its own. But if there isn't space, you'll just use your fork and help it around and it will turn. Oh, and let me not forget, I did add a very hot Scotch bonnet to this. I'll add the greens in portions so that it will have a chance to wilt and leave room for the rest of it to come in. And here you'll see that I thought better of it and just decided to go with a bigger frying pan. And you can always add a little bit of water to this if you need a little bit more steaming liquid. So after stirring everything around with the saltfish and all the vegetables, we'll cover and leave that to steam for a couple of minutes. Not too long so you don't overdo the vegetables or let the onions disappear or anything. So we'll just keep an eye on the festival, turn those that need to be turned if there isn't room for them to turn by themselves. And also if you want to get the color more even, you can reflip the other sides a second time and keep going until it is cooked, and we'll check one to see that. I'll just start another set and then I'll show you too. So I've put in another set and I'll show you now. It's nice and golden brown and it is fully cooked on the inside. And it's hot. And that's it. Brunch is served. Enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.